hello, and welcome to the show. It's me, John Park. Oh my gosh, I've revealed something over there. I didn't mean to. And this is JP's Product Pick of the Week. Thank you so much for stopping by today. What's going on? We've got people over in our chats, over in our YouTube chat. Hello to David Odessa, Beata Graf Abdelhagen, Electric Elephant. Hello, thank you for stopping by. Yeah, you're very welcome. Happy to tell you when it's starting because here it is. We're doing it now. Over in our, what's it called? Discord chat. That's the other place. Sorry, I didn't mean to point. Yeah, so if you're in Facebook or Twitch or somewhere like that and you're wondering, hey, where is the chat going on? Other than the YouTube chat, the main one that we are on is our Discord. And you can head over to adafruit.it/Discord and jump into our Discord server and then look for that channel right there. We have a bunch of channels, but look for the live broadcast chat channel. We got people hanging out right on over there, and that includes Thin Man, Scotty Beam Me Up, Blitz City DIY, welcome back, Jim Hendrickson, Sam J. Ohio, thank you for hopping into the chat and hanging out today. So what do we got going on? I have a very cool new product pick. This is a freshly created item, brand spanking new. My first time using it, and it is super helpful. I can see immediately I'm going to like these. I will give you a big discount on it. It's going to be 50% off today, and you won't need a coupon code or anything like that. All you'll need to do is go and throw some in your cart and get them before they disappear or before the show is over, and then the price will go back up to full price. We had 100 of them stashed before the show. We're already selling them at a high rate, so I will tell you, if you want to go check it out, that's the QR code. That right there, that's the URL. Head on over to product 6354 to check it out. Before I say any more, however, I would like to have Lady Ada jump back to the new segment of Ask an Engineer when she first introduced this. So please take it away, Lady Ada.
We're selling the word Adafruit.
The word Adafruit. So this is the TPS 6116 boost converter. And this is a boost converter specifically designed for driving LEDs in constant current mode, which is different than most boost converters. So most boost converters we have give you like 5 volts out or 12 volts or whatever. What's interesting about this one is it gives you a constant current, and you can select what current you want by flicking those switches at the top. So by default it's 25 milliamps, but you can add 25, add 50, add 100, add 200, basically up to 400 milliamps. So you can go up to 40 volts or up to 400 milliamps. Check the part description because I explained you can't do 40 volts at 400 milliamps. There's kind of like a balance between it. But what's nice is this is great for driving our LED filaments and nudes, especially like the long 12 volt and 24 volt versions, because they're kind of annoying and weird to drive. You need like a 24 volt power supply, and they need a resistor, and then like what if you want to dim it? So what's nice is that, like, for example, here I'm just running off a couple AA batteries. You give the boost converter 3 to 5 volts in, and then you connect the LED to the output, and then it will automatically boost to whatever voltage you need in order to get that 25 to 400 milliamps, whatever you've selected, output. And then, of course, you just flick the switches to change the constant current. And if you want to dim it on the breakout itself, there is a PWM pin. So, you know, if you want to have external PWM control, you can dim it, but you don't have to. If a lot of people just want to have the LED on, what's nice is there's no soldering required because it comes with terminal blocks. You just put in your power input, you have your LED output, and then it's great for both a nude, or in this case, if you see, I have,
You're back there.
You have 8 LEDs, 3 volts in a row. They're only drawing 50 milliamps, but the wiring is really simplified because you connect one anode to another cathode all the way, you know, across. You have whatever 20-ish, 24 volts of power, but it doesn't, you don't have to worry about that. The booster will automatically just figure out whatever the voltage has to be in order to drive 50 milliamps.
Yeah, that's right. This is it right here. What's your name there? There you are. That's the product pick of the week this week. It is the TPS 61169. It is a constant current boost converter for LEDs. So this is a highly specific part. Sometimes we have things that you can come up with all kinds of different uses for. This is really for driving LEDs of a particular type. And it's all about these, for me, it's all about these guys right here. These, we call them the nudes. They're like noodles. You can use those, and you can use these really nice little preformed letters and numbers that we have. These are chip-on-board cob style LEDs. So there's a bazillion little LEDs. I know they look like EL wire, but this is a whole bunch of little LEDs. And these can require anywhere from 3 volts per to 12 volts to 24 volts per. They all have very specific current ratings, and the nice thing about this board is that you can string a bunch of them together and just say, hey, I want to make sure that we're getting 100 milliamps of current on these, or 200 or 300. It will come up with the right voltage for you to do that, and that is all based on an incoming 3 to 5 volts. So before I go and demo that, let me jump over here to this view so you can see the board, and let's talk about it. So this has a set, do I have it right side up? Yeah. This has a set of screw terminals that you can see on there, and those are for your incoming 3 to 5 volts, and then your output to the LEDs that you have strung together on there. It will allow you to specify the output current. By default, it's going to be 25 milliamps, and then you've got little dip switches there you can see on the silk screen. Flip those towards the on position, which is not towards the numbers, but where you see the word on the switch. Flip those towards the on position, and you can add 25, 50, 100, 200, and then any combinations of those that you want. And excuse me, it also has a 1.2 amp internal switch and overvoltage protection. If you turn it on and it's open or it's shorted, you will go into an auto shutdown, which is nice, and then you can just power cycle this and it will restart it. You can dim the LEDs using PWM. So you'll notice across the bottom there we've got the voltage in and ground, so you can use that instead of the screw terminal if you want. We have a PWM pin, and then we have the output. So with PWM, you could hook this up to a microcontroller or even a simpler PWM driver and adjust the brightness of it that way. So we also do have, I'm going to go to the product page for a second. I didn't include it here today because it's not in stock, but you can sign up for this nice little case. You'll see down here there's a snap-on enclosure. So go check that out. You can get those or sign up to be alerted when those come in stock. And we probably have that up on our CAD in GitHub, in our CAD repository if you want to 3D print your own. But let's get to it. So let me show a couple of demos. I'm going to go to this down shooter view here. So here you can see what I've got going on. I have a DC barrel jack. I have a 5-volt power supply, DC power supply, and I'm using a little on-off switch so I can turn that on and off conveniently without just plugging and unplugging it. That goes to the TPS 61169, and then that comes out at, in this case, the default 25 milliamps. And I'm just going to this one single nude LED noodle here. This is at its lowest current, so you can see it's rather bright. I'm going to just go ahead and dip that exposure down. This is a little closer to what it looks like in real life. So at this brightness level, you can see the individual LEDs. If you look closely, you'll see little bright dots. Those are the LEDs in there. However, I can just go over here to the dip switches, and I'm just going to add, let's say, 50 milliamps to it. Boom! Nice and bright, really good looking display. You can get much, much brighter as you flip those on and add more current. This is a 300 millimeter noodle, 3 volt. Yeah, Beatograph Abdelhagenas. I actually couldn't find my 12 or 24 volt one. I swear I thought I knew where they were, and I couldn't find them for this, but you can drive this one just fine. You can also string these together. So I'm going to go ahead and flip this off for a second. I'll take, this is a 100 millimeter nude, and I've actually marked mine. Let me bring the exposure back for a second. I've actually marked mine. There's a little dot on the anode side, but I've gone ahead and put a black piece of heat shrink tubing on the cathode side. So I'm going to go ahead and add this to the chain of noodles here, and you can see if you remember there, and of course I'm doing camera stuff here, but if you can remember the excuse me, brightness level we had, we're going to get basically the same brightness level because we're just telling it to boost the voltage until we can supply the requested current. So you don't have to worry about voltage in this case, which is nice. So I'll flip those back on, and you can see this back down here when I turn this up to the 50 additional. Basically the same brightness that we had before with 2 of these. If I go ahead and flip this off again, and I'm going to switch over to these letters that I strung together. One point is these are not for individual sort of normal little 1 LED. These are meant for these multi-LED nude type of and filament letters and numbers. So I'll go ahead and connect up my alligator. I just, for convenience, have alligator clips on this one. I'll show you where I have a JST connector. So let's plug this side over here. Flip that on. There we go. Boy, that's bright. So again, I'll flip that little 50 millimeter off, and let's add the 25 or milliamp. I'll add the 25. So there's a nice little set of numbers there. I actually thought it might be neat to build a little frame for it. So this number doesn't really mean anything in particular, but I took the outlines of these from the data sheet into Rhino, traced them, and built a little parametric enclosure for it to 3D print. So if you take a look at this right here, I'll go ahead and I can leave it running. I'll go ahead and unplug. Actually, I'll safer to turn that off. I'll unplug one little connector that I added and plug this one in instead. Turn this on, and now we get this neat little, use this kind of thing for like a room number or a mailbox or something like that. So this is really, I think, one of the strengths of this little boost converter is that it just works. You don't have to think too much about different voltages. Supply it with 3 to 5. Tell it the milliamp rating that you want to get, and then you can have 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of these types of filaments. They're going to come out with the brightness you want at the current that you're asking for, which is really, really nice. So if we take a look back at product page here, I'm going to go ahead and refresh this. Let's see if we got them in stock. Yeah, so we're down to 37 of them in stock. $2.25, a great price for these. What are you driving with them? If you scroll down here, you'll see we have a link to these nudes, flexible LED filament, warm white, 1.2 meter long, 24 volt. That's one of them. If you click that, go ahead and click that there. This is actually a product page that will give you a whole bunch of choices. So you can go to a half-sized one, any of these colored ones, and you can run them together. Now, this is not for blinking individual ones on and off. Oh, there's 2 of me. Let me hide one. This is really just for lighting them up. You can, like I said, use the PWM control pin to adjust the entire strand, however much you have connected. But it is not like NeoPixels. They're not individually addressable. If you take a look at the product page here, you can see we've got some nice close-ups of the board. We have the pinouts. So they'll tell you what's on the terminal blocks on the incoming and outgoing output side. Here is the formula you can use to determine the current output. These are the dip switches that are used to add different amounts, and you can gang those together. And then the calculation here for the PWM to dim those. There's a nice usage here, how to hook things up. There's a nice little barrel plug that I use to connect that up. Like this note says here, ignore the fritzing diagram showing a sort of regular LED. You do want to use these multi-LED pack type of products on these. And you'll use them in series. These are not for parallel, so you're going to run them in series. And then the downloads, we have the data sheet for this and some CAD files. If you take a look, there's also a nudes powering Uber guide that will tell you some more about powering them and some other options that you have for powering them. You've got not only those flexible nudes of different kinds, but we also have all of those filament letters. So if we go over here to Berry LEDs filaments, you can see alphabet. Pick anything from the alphabet here, as well as the numbers. So let's see, do we have any questions in the chats? No questions. Okay. One question came from YouTube. Electric Elephant says, I have a question. Can my input voltage come from my power bank? Yes. So you can, as long as you're giving it between 3 to 5 volts, you could use AA or AAA battery pack, anywhere 3 to 5 volts. You can use a LiPo would work. So you could use a 3.7 to 4.2 volt LiPo. You can use USB battery banks, which is pretty convenient for that. Just have that wired up to grab just the 5 volts. So you'll need a little adapter to get to those pins, or you could cut a wire if you want. So those are the delightful little, let me disconnect something here. Right there, delightful little numbers, super bright. Hold this back here. And we can start to wrap this up. So I'll, again, remind you, head on over to that URL. You can pick them up. We do still have a few in stock. Throw them in your cart. Buy them before the end of the show or soon thereafter. The price will go back up to normal. There's no rain checks or coupon codes or anything like that. So get them while they're cheap. And I'm going to finish this up. So that right there is my product pick of the week this week. It is the TPS 61169 power. What is it? Okay, hold on. I'm forgetting your name. You're a constant current power boost converter. What do we call you? Oh my gosh, I've clicked so many pages. Go back to this one where it's nice and big so I can read it. There we go. Yes. That right there is the product pick of the week this week. It is the TPS 61169 constant current boost converter for LEDs. For Adafruit Industries, I'm John Park, and this has been JP's product pick of the week. See you next time. Bye-bye.